In this video, we are going to talk about something called a function machine. And what I'd like you to do for this assignment is watch this video on this topic and use the uploaded version of this worksheet in the tab in Google Classroom as your guide. You do not need to print this worksheet. You can just look at it on your screen and do your work on a separate sheet of paper in the notes section of your notebook. But if you would like to print it and just put that in your notes section, you can do that as well. So what is a function machine? Well, we've talked about in class how graphs can be drawn and equations can be written for many different types of relationships, okay? And some of these graphs and equations fall under a special category that are called functions. And in the next section, we are going to learn specifically what makes something a function and able to fit in that category. For now, we're just going to focus on how functions operate. Because they are special and part of a special category of graph and equations, we name functions in a different way. And we do this by using a letter instead of y equals. Some examples would be using f of x, g of x, and h of x. So please note, when it's written like this, f parentheses x, that's read f of x. And whenever you see that, that's an indicator that we're not just working with any graph or any equation. We're working with something special called a function, okay? F of x is still going to represent our output or our y value. I think I mentioned in class that f of x is just a fancy way of saying y equals. And x is still going to represent the input. So we still have inputs and outputs like we did before. When functions operate, they act like a machine. When you have a machine, you put something in, the machine processes that input, and it gives you an output. So in terms of functions, our input is x, the machine applies a rule to x, and we get an output f of x from our machine. So for example, we have this function machine right here, okay? And this machine takes each input and it squares it and then subtracts 1. Right in the middle of the machine, it tells us what the rule is. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice putting an input into the machine and seeing what output it produces, all right? For example, if we put in an input of 3 into the machine, how do we know that it gets an output of 8? Well, to test that, what we do is we take 3 as our x value and we plug it into the equation f of x equals x squared minus 1. So my input is 3. My machine takes my input and squares it and subtracts 1 from it. 3 squared is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. This means that f of 3 is equal to 8. If my input is 4, that means I'm replacing x with 4. And so f of 4 takes that input of 4 and it squares it and subtracts 1. 4 squared is 16, minus 1 is 15. This means that f of 4 is equal to 15. What if my input is negative? Well, this is where those parentheses are really going to help us. Just like I've been doing for the first two, we'll always put our input in parentheses. We'll replace the x with that negative 1. We will square it, and we will subtract 1. Negative 1 squared is a positive 1. Take away 1, and that's equal to 0. F of a negative 1 is equal to 0. And finally, what happens when we put 10 into our function machine? Well, f of 10 takes that 10, squares it, and subtracts 1. 10 squared is 100, minus 1 is 99. So f of 10 is equal to 99. How does this relate to things we've learned in the past? Well, typically when we've looked for inputs and outputs in graphs, we've made a table of values. We have our inputs, 3, 4, -1, and 10, and our function machine told us what those outputs were, 8, 15, 0, and 99. So again, f of x is just a fancy way of writing y equals, and it tells us we're not just working with any equation or any graph, we're working with a function. Now, we can work backwards with function machines. You can tell the function machine to work in reverse. So what if we did that? What if we started with the output and told the machine to work backwards to help us find the input? Well, that would look like this. What if f of x is 24? What would the input be that goes with that output? Well, remember, f of x is a fancy way of telling us y equals. So this first part is just telling us that y is equal to 24. If our function tells us that f of x is equal to x squared minus 1, and f of x is 24, then what we're doing is we're solving the equation 24 equals x squared minus 1. And we solve this just like we would any regular equation. We need to get things away from the x. We need to get all of our numbers to one side and all of our x terms to the other. So the first thing I need to do is I need to move this -1 to the other side by adding 1. So 25 is equal to x squared. Now I need to ask myself, what number or numbers could I square and end up with an answer of positive 25? And the answer is I could square a positive 5 and get 25, or if I put in an input of -5, I would also get a positive 25. Remember that the opposite of squaring something is taking the square root. So essentially what we're doing is we're analyzing what the square root of 25 is. What I'd like you to do now is find the outputs or inputs for the following functions. So you're given 9 different function machines here. If you notice, in the middle of each function machine, it tells you the rule or what that function does to the input. Sometimes it's giving you an input and it asks you to find the output, and sometimes it has you make the function machine work backwards. It gives you the output and it wants you to find the input that was originally put into the function. So that is one of your assignments for these asynchronous learning days. Complete these 9 problems. We'll check them when we come into class, and we'll go over the answers together and take questions. Use my Mrs. V, I have a question Google form if you have anything specific you want me to focus on in class when we return on Monday. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.